This one's kind of interesting. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are now in the hot seat because there was a report that came out that suggested that maybe their relationship was in fact fake, that it was all orchestrated deliberately to gain PR for both of them. Now, Travis's team is not very happy about this, not happy at all. In fact, in this article right here, you can see Travis Kelce's team is actually calling lawyers in because there was this quote unquote contract that somehow got leaked online. Here's the picture of the contract. So this is the contract, and it had his PR agency all over it. And it was apparently a contract that detailed just exactly how a breakup would happen and how Travis would break up with Taylor Swift. Full Scope, I guess, is the PR agency. So now they're calling in lawyers, and they're like, wait a second, we got to find out who did this. It has since been taken down. It was on Reddit. This document, they're saying, is totally fake. But the document was talking about how they were having this like year-long romance, and that eventually it would be called off and he was going to break up with her and this, that, and the other. Wow. I mean, he really seemed kind of into her. Here's the video of him at a concert with her. I believe this one was in London. He's so happy. He's doing like a bellhop dance there on the side, and they're picking up Taylor, and she's pretending to Swift because she's pretending to faint because Taylor Swift is so overcome with, oh my gosh, could this possibly be my beau here at my concert? And it's very contrived, of course. It's very fake. It's very shtick. It's very much for the cameras and for the fans, which leaves everybody asking, is it all just for the fans, right? Is it all just one big ruse? Is it all fake? And, look, it doesn't help this guy, the PR agent, that he's talked about these so-called showmances before. So according to the Daily Mail, he said, quote, the photos, this is the Full Scope PR guy, Jack Kelce. He said they were entirely false and fabricated, were not created, issued, or authorized by this agency. So he runs this agency. But he also told the site that he hired a lawyer, as I said, to initiate proceedings against the individuals or entities responsible, though it's not really clear, right, how he's going to track whoever's responsible down. I mean, maybe you can do some forensic internet work there. But part of the problem that's feeding this rumor mill is that he has in the past admitted to using, quote, showmances, which would be fake celebrity romances to present to the public to help people's careers. So he was on a podcast back in 2019 out of Australia. And let me quote for you what he said. I've had 2 showmances that I did in my career. The main clue you see is that a certain high-profile male is dating a female who is not high-profile, and all of a sudden, overnight, they are the most talked-about girl in Hollywood, and everyone wants a piece of them. So he's talking about how agents will often put these things together, and often it's like an unknown female and a more well-known man who maybe wants to get away from some bad PR or publicity as a movie comes up and out. And so they're trying to sell the hype of the relationship, and that's how it's done. Look, I don't doubt that happens. This would be a little odd, right? Because I think Taylor Swift is a far larger star than Travis Kelce, but maybe he's like the girl in this relationship, right? Maybe he's like, she's like, I need a more Americana image, right? Like, go get me a good old football player that's going all the way to the Super Bowl, and let's see if we can work this out. And there was a casting call. I'm joking around, of course. I don't know. I don't really care, except that it's interesting in light of the political environment in which we now live, because I think ultimately, while the public may tolerate that in a relationship, like Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift may or may not have, they're not so willing to tolerate it in their politicians, which gets us back to Kamala Harris and the charade that is Kamala Harris. The charade being that they think they can actually put up a website that's all about joy and hope and no actual information, none, about her policy, We got nothing on her website about her policy other than, and this isn't even on her website. She's just out saying today she's going to give $25,000, right, to new home buyers to try and offset some of their housing costs, which trust me on this. I know enough about economics and I've been covering markets long enough that I know this. If you inflate, and that's what it is, inflation, housing prices like that, it'll be disastrous for new time home buyers. You're going to make it like education. I mean, you want to do to education? You want to do to housing what you did to education? No, thank you. No, thank you. But again, whether or not Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are quote, real, I would say this, it's got to be a pretty unique, special relationship given the superstar power of her as well as him. I mean, it's got to be, I'm betting there's some contracts somewhere. I'm betting this is not just, boy meets girl. They fall in love. But I think what it's sort of telling us in this moment in time is that people are tired of anything being contrived. They're searching for authenticity. It's partly why so many of you are here. Just a reminder, if you haven't, make sure that you subscribe, you share, you like. It's really, really important that you do so. It's critical, actually, that you do so. But I think that this authenticity is actually what really matters in the scheme of things. And so they're trying to create a sensational political product by way of Kamala Harris. But you know what? The people aren't buying it. They're not buying it. I mean, maybe they want to buy Travis and Taylor, but I think when it comes down to who's going to actually help them provide for their families, there's a more critical approach, much more critical approach